Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel. I am the Real Cass Perry, and it has been an extremely fudging long week already. And it's only Monday! Yeah. Nothing but stress last 3 days. As much as I have been trying to keep up with my research for our next video, I have not been able to. So, I am going to get directly into something totally different than what I was planning in the first place. And we are going to read some Reddit before I finish all of the research and scripting and stuff for our next video, which is actually going to be a bit of dark history. We're looking into what is known as the original Hellfire Club, and I think that you guys are really gonna like that one. So our first story is called "My Ex-Boyfriend Broke Into My House." Now, the reason that we're going to be reading all kinds of Reddit stories is because, well, let's just be honest here. Life's been a mess. I want to read about other people's lives being a mess because I have this friend. As much as I love her, her life has kind of been so hectic that me trying to help her take care of it has been making my life extremely stressful and hectic. So, yeah. I can't exactly judge her, because most of it isn't exactly her fault. It's just situational. Yeah. So, I, 19 female, recently broke up with my boyfriend, 35 male. Hold the fudging phone. Chris Hansen, we got something for you. Hello? Ring. Yeah, I got something for you, buddy. Yeah, so this girl's 19, and she recently broke up with her 35-year-old boyfriend. Yeah, so I have no idea how long this relationship was, but I'm quite certain that there is absolutely no way it started before she turned 19. Cool, you gonna take care of it? Nice, perfect, good boy, bye-bye. Anyways, gonna get back to this. I, 19 female, recently broke up with my boyfriend, 35 male, I'll call D. We only dated for 1 month, so I didn't expect it to be so dramatic when I ended things, but he ended up breaking into my house. D was extremely kind at the very start, letting me bring my brother to hang out with us and whatnot. It slowly got to the point where he was expecting me to be available at any time he wanted, day or night. And he had a whole fit anytime I said no. Like a whole ass fit. Or if I took too long to answer, too long being any time over 1 minute sometimes, there was a lot of emotional abuse as well. But I don't know if I should get into that. He cared very much about SX. I, on the other hand, am not the biggest fan of being constantly spammed day and night. And even at work, D then added being very sexual, even when I have said no several times and pulled away and pulled his hands off my body, he'd continue to try. Okay, so no means no. I'm saying this directly. I'm saying this now and only now. No means no. Okay? The first time that somebody says no, that should be the end of it. If somebody says no, I'm not in the mood. No, I don't want to. No, this isn't okay. Don't freaking do it. Red flag. I need a red flag. I need something red to wave. Yeah, no. Some nights he came to my home for what I thought would be a wholesome date night, but he constantly pushed for more than one time till 7 in the morning. And that's when I realized we're over. I no longer feel safe, so I felt I had to end things. I told him as much, and I don't think he took me seriously. He kept calling himself my boyfriend and saying I'm his girlfriend. And I had a very busy day yesterday, and he wanted to talk to me. I told him we could talk the next day because I was very tired, and my mom had told me to sleep, saying I didn't look well. Yeah, yeah, if you need to take a day and not talk to somebody, then that's perfectly fine. You don't need to. They don't need to spam you. They don't need to be all up in your business. Like, no. And if you feel like you're not in a safe situation at any point in time, there is always somebody that you can turn to help you get into a safer situation. There's always somebody. Especially, it's normally the last person who you would think would care is the first person who's going to try to help you out. Always. Don't ever let yourself stay in any type of situation where you don't feel safe. Like, no. Matter of fact, and if you're in a situation where you don't feel safe, and the person who you did call is like trying to help you as much as possible, and they're doing everything for you, don't push them, because you will push them to the edge. Like, don't overdo it. Especially when they're asking for their space, because obviously none of that would have been planned beforehand. Like, just give them their space. Okay? Okay. I was willing and ready to hear what he had to say, but just not that very second. He told me he was outside my house, and after I said not to come over at least 3 times. Red flag! Just saying. I said to leave, and I fell asleep. He then texted me, I'm coming in. But I was asleep, so I didn't notice, and a couple minutes later, I woke up to a hand on my back and my shoulders being shook. I said I was trying to sleep, thinking it was my brother, and then he started hugging me, and I was just shocked that he broke into my home. My brothers and father were able to help me now. They all know who he is, and so he shouldn't be doing it again, but it still freaked me out. Obviously! And with good reason. This man is in your home without your permission. You asked him to leave. He just went inside after you told him to go. I'd have called the police. Attention la policia! No more. Never. If I miss any comments or anything, I'm sorry. I hardly understand this app, but I'm doing my best to reply. I think I accidentally deleted someone's comment when I was trying to respond. I'm sorry to whoever that was, and I'm surprised everyone is being so kind and helpful about my situation. Thank you. It's really helping a lot. Like, this girl should not underestimate this dude. This guy is some type of scary, and it's not okay. Like, there's a lot of things in this world that somebody can no. Oh. This one is from R-Creepy Encounters, and it is titled, He Was Looking at Me Through the Peephole. Ooh. Ooh, I love the creepy stories. Okay. Last year, I moved to another city. After finishing high school, I assessed several college options and decided on one that would have me move roughly 3 hours. I found an apartment where I would be able to live without roommates, and that was in a safe part of town with reasonable rent. It was close to some attractions in the city, which was an added bonus to me, as well as it would still allow me to have a reasonable social life. I don't know. For me, my social life's not really all that important. I'm kind of a homebody. um, at the end of the day, all that I really do personally is just go to work and go home. So, yeah, social attractions aren't really a big thing in my life. It's not a huge reason for me to want to move somewhere. Just saying. For the first 4 months or so, it was great. There were absolutely no problems or safety concerns of any sort, and I managed to become good friends with a guy who studied at the same college as me. He coincidentally lived around 5 minutes away from me, so we would often hang out at each other's place. And one night, as winter started, he called me over to play video games and hang out. We had a pretty chill night, drank a few beers, had a few good laughs, and we enjoyed ourselves. At around 1 a.m., we decided to call it a wrap, and I headed to my home apartment. When I got back home, I decided to head out to the balcony that overlooked the entrance of my building and smoke a cigarette. I vividly remember looking around and seeing absolutely nobody. It was a cold winter night, and it wasn't the weekend, so understandably everybody was at home. Besides the usual car or two passing by, it was dead quiet. Once I finished my cigarette, I decided to call it a night and got ready for bed. I was understandably confused when I heard a short ring on my doorbell. I stood in the center of the room for a solid few seconds as confusion and a little bit of fear set in. I snapped out of it and decided to tiptoe to my door and just try to hear if anybody was outside. My immediate thought was that my friend came over to drop off something and that I might have forgotten. But I thought to myself that he would have texted me or called. I probably listened for a half a minute or so when the person once again rang the doorbell and softly knocked a few times. I was stood still and didn't want to make a sound so that I wouldn't give away the fact that I was at the door. Obviously, because there's somebody at your door. You want to know who it is before you open it. I heard the stranger pacing around the apartment hallway for a few seconds before he stopped. I waited for any sort of noise, but it was quiet. That was when I decided to look at the peephole to see that he hopefully left. I picked up the cover of the peephole and took a look. My legs pretty much went numb as I saw a hooded figure looking straight into the peephole. He was holding the zipper of his hoodie as to cover his face. All I could really make out was his forehead and eyes. He must have either heard me lift up the cover or my heavy breathing, because right away he moved from the peephole and said, "I know you're at the door." By this point, I was pretty much shivering in fear, but mustered up the courage to say, "I'm calling the cops, man." He laughed and said, "Sure thing, big guy." He proceeded to wipe away the door handle with his sleeve before walking off. I understandably called the police, and when they came over, they informed me that I wasn't the only one. He had been doing this for at least a month. They suspected him of at least one home invasion where the father chased him out of the house. I crashed at my friend's house for around a week or so after this before going back to my apartment. It's been a year and I've never heard any news about him. He could have been arrested by now, but as far as I know, he hasn't been. I find it more likely that he simply moved to a different area. I'm not sure if he had any violent intent or not, but either way, let's seriously not meet again. Yeah. Yeah, that's a creepy situation. And how would you even know? I don't think that your peepholes and stuff are like set up so that people can see through from the other side. And if they are, that is fudging terrifying. Buh. Okay, so I'm literally just picking these based on the titles, and this one looks funny. Am I the a-hole for not wearing a bra to my friend's wedding? I, 23 female, have small bubbies. You can't tell if I'm wearing a bra or not in most tops, so when I can, I don't wear bra. I don't wear bras as I find them uncomfortable. My friend Kate, 25, female, is getting married and asked me to be the bridesmaid. I accepted, and she texted me privately to ask if I could wear a bra for her wedding as she doesn't want me to flash someone. I tried explaining to her that the bridesmaid dress she had picked had full sleeves so you wouldn't be able to tell as the material is also very thick. Kate got really mad at me and my sister and said maybe I should just suck it up and wear a bra. I just find it to be weird and an invasive question, as you literally can't tell if I had a bra on in the first place or not in that dress. And I'm sure no one over there is staring at my chest. Okay. I don't know how to tell you this, but if the bride needs to tell you that you should wear a bra at her wedding, you should wear the bra. To the comments section. Holy. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I don't wear a bra. I don't want to wear a bra in my bridesmaid's dress, and my friend's upset at me for refusing. Okay. Don't downvote assholes. Do upvote interesting posts. Okay. If she's bringing it up, maybe it's more noticeable than you think, and is this really the hill that you want to die on? She's not asking you to color your hair or hide tattoos. Is this worth threatening a friendship over? That's what I'm saying. Like, seriously, if you need to be asked to wear a bra at a wedding, maybe it's a lot more noticeable and it's a lot more easily visible than you think, and she just doesn't want the whole freaking wedding staring at your nips. Like, at the very least, put on some pasties. Like, come on. Oh, next one. Literally, the next comment down. If she's bringing it up, maybe it's more noticeable than you think. Next one. Oh, what's the next one? Everyone I've ever met who said it's not noticeable has been a liar. We can tell. It's the nips. I'm not here to argue about why men can be braless or how it's sexist or whatever, but maybe your friend just doesn't want you looking like you're smuggling raisins on her wedding day. You know what? I get that. Right? Having small boobs doesn't mean you have zero nipples. There's a difference between being unbothered by your nipples peeking through your clothes and them not being visible at all. You are the a-hole in this case, OP. Your friend doesn't want your chest buttons exposed at her wedding, and that's not unreasonable. Oh, that's not unreasonable. Like, nobody... Hide the nippies. Hide them. Nobody... Oh my lord. I think it's also that it's a formal occasion and that it's not a proper look. Man or woman, to have visible nipples under your formal wear isn't proper. It's a wedding, not a hangout or dinner or something where braless wouldn't matter. This is exactly correct, and I am in full support. OP, you are the a-hole if you do not wear a bra to your friend's wedding. You need to cover up the craisins. Okay? Okay. Do we have time for one more? Should we? Should we do one? Should we do another one? I want to do another one. Okay, we're gonna do another one! I, 23 female, just got out of a short-term relationship with a male 23. There was all sorts of red flags with this guy. He wouldn't message me for days at a time, and then when he was around me, he never pulled out his phone. He never wanted to interact with my friends or family, and he didn't even tell his family. He only wanted me to be around when he wanted physical contact. This is This is already not going a good direction for you. I don't love this for you, babe. I'm not loving this for you already. Like, you deserve better, okay? I was already seeing all the red flags, so am I, and I barely even started reading. I was already seeing all the red flags, so I began trying to find things about him, and he never told me about himself. Well, one night he was over, and I found a hickey on him that wasn't from me, and I asked him about it. Oh, no! Dude froze and said, "Oh, it's probably from my seatbelt." Seatbelt? Seatbelt. That's it. I'm grabbing my purse. We're going to war. Because you cannot get a hickey from a seatbelt. Call me. Call me. We're going to war. Give me the address. I'm going to come get him. Okay? Okay. Okay? Okay. Oh, Lord. He was supposed to take me 2 days later to an appointment to get my wisdom tooth removed. He texted me the night before saying he couldn't on Snapchat and stopped messaging me and blocked my number. A friend of mine found his newest account on Facebook and I messaged him. One of my other friends saw a post on my Snapchat and commented saying he looked like her friend's husband. Lo and behold, the guy was married with 2 kids. He had lied to me about his name, and he was living and had created a whole Snapchat and a whole Facebook to help keep up with his lies. I messaged him calling him all sorts of names and telling him to come get his clothing. As you should, babe, as you should. Like, actually, I have a better idea. And go ahead. Call him and call him all kinds of different names. Tell him what he did. Tell him what he did wrong. Call him a cheater. Tell him that you want to talk to his wife. Matter of fact. Try to get a hold of his wife. Tell her. But at the end of the day, he should not be showing up to your place for anything, even to pick up his things. What do you do with his things? Well, there are 2 things that you can do with his stuff here. Let's be honest. The first thing that you can do is just be a bitch and just burn it all. Burn all of it. Up in flames. Up in flames. Or you can go get your girls, including your homegirl over here. We're just going to go show up wherever the heck he is. We're going to biff it at him. We're just going to throw it all at him. Literally just throw it. Because there is absolutely no reason. No. That way, when you show up where he is and throw all of his things at him, then his wife's gonna come out and you're gonna have proof for her because you're throwing his things at him that he's a cheater. Well, you tell her everything that you know. Oh yes, I is the petty queen. I love it so much. We love it. Ooh. He had bought me roses, and I had one of my friends who was taking care of me tried to set the flowers on fire, but that didn't work, so we stomped on them. It had just snowed and turned into ice on Saturday, so we threw his stuff outside and told him to come and get it. He told me he was going to end things with me on Wednesday after all he had bought me dinner and flowers and told me he loved me. When I called him out, he didn't like that and blocked me. So I, being angry, took his stuff out of the snow by my house and went off of the property and set his clothing on fire. Am I the a-hole for setting my ex's stuff on fire? Also, his wife knows, but not sure what's going on there since my friend told her, and my friend suggested that I don't make contact as she might blame me for her husband cheating, as I did not know If I had, I wouldn't have entertained him. I feel so disgusted that I was even in this situation. I completely understand. Honestly, there's... Oh, my lord. Honey, you are not the asshole. You are the absolute opposite of the asshole. You are the most amazing person on earth. He did not deserve you. Obviously, he doesn't care. Otherwise he wouldn't have left it all there. Like, he can't take responsibility for his own actions, so why would he care about why? No. Like, you are not the asshole. Not the asshole in the slightest. He deserved far worse. Honestly, I understand, but I would have showed up. I would have just showed up and, like, no. 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 I don't know. Do we have time for one more? Just a little one? Just a wee little one? Just a tiny, itty bitty one? Wee bitty. Wee bitty bitty. Excuse me. Man, I can't even say excuse me. That was noise. That was like a 5. But do we have time for another one? Just a little one? Just a wee one. Just tiny. Just tiny. Just little, I promise. I promise. I promise. I promise to just be little. I promise. Okay. This one is titled, I am tired of being the free babysitter. Like I say, I promise it's just a little one. Okay. I'm 16, and since I was little, every person who has a kid made me babysit it. I hate it. I hate it. I tried saying no. I tried hiding in the closets and the basement, but I got yelled at for upsetting the kids who like me. What? Whenever I come stay at my grandparents, at my grandma's, please, which I love, as soon as my aunt finds out, she brings her kid over. Oh, excuse me. Whew. Sorry. As soon as my aunt finds out, she brings her kid over and she just goes to hang out with the adults. I come here to rest and enjoy my break from school, not to babysit. I complained about it and she told me that her kid likes me. Well, I hate her kid. I'm still nice to it though. Like, I just want to be left alone for once. It's just a rant, but any advice is very welcome. I'm really unwell today, and she still brought her kid over. I feel like I'm about to cry. Do you know what you do? Know what you do? Know what you do? Ugh, this is awful. But honestly, you gotta start being mean to the kid. And you gotta start, like, not like mean, like, don't be abusive. Just tell her to leave you alone because you don't want to hang out with her. Like, you literally have to tell both the adult and the child that you need a break. And I'm sorry, but nobody's asking you to babysit. They're just throwing it on you. And or flat out tell your aunt and any other adult in your life who is basically forcing you to babysit their children that if they don't start paying you, then you're not going to watch their kids at all, and that you're not going to give them free childcare if you don't want to, because like I said, you're a kid. You yourself are a child. You cannot be responsible for looking after other children if you don't want to. You don't have your own kids. So you shouldn't have to look after everybody else's. Sorry. Like, there's a lot of things in life that you can do, but honestly, if they don't want to pay you for babysitting, like, if you're going to be asked to babysit all the time, then they're going to have to pay you. And if they don't want to pay you, then, especially if they, like, leave these kids alone with you and, like, actually leave. If everybody leaves and leaves the kids alone with you, you have full rights to call the police and state that this child was abandoned in your care. And if they don't want to, yeah, actually, you could press charges on them for not paying you for childcare. Legally, you are allowed to charge these people at least $13 an hour for childcare at the least. Well, minimum wage wherever you are. You're allowed to charge minimum wage, so however much an hour for, yeah, start charging the money. And my advice to everybody who has any type of situation that they are in that feels dramatic or overly invasive or unsafe or in any way, shape, or form unhealthy, leave it. And if you need to leave a situation and you have to go into somebody else's home or, like, be in someone else's space, especially if it was an unplanned situation, let that person have their personal space, because, oh my heaven, can it be a joyride? Especially when, like, you weren't expected and you show up out of necessity because that person, like, feels like they want to help you because you're going through a lot of stuff. And then you just don't leave them alone or, like, let them have their own peace or space in their own home. Like, it is understood that you are going through things, but you need to let other people have their peace. Because, yes, you are going to be in somebody else's home because it's more peaceful and you need your peace, but sometimes you're taking away theirs and they have their own issues to deal with. Like, some people have their own mental health problems, some people have their own things that they're dealing with, and some people just don't like people going through their stuff or, like, making themselves more at home than they really should be just because they feel like, oh, yeah, this is a better place for me. Like, no. You gotta let other people be at home in their homes if you're gonna be in someone else's home. But anyways, at the end of the day, the best thing that we can do for ourselves is live our lives the best way that we can and make good choices. And try to do the best that we can and be the best person that we can be. So, to everybody out there who is actually listening, because I'm sure that somebody is, be the best person that you can be. Always, always have your own back. Always have your friends' backs. Always know when you are not in the wrong and when you are in the wrong, because... And try to see all of the red flags that are waving like Paul Revere on a red stallion, riding down the road in a fully red uniform, waving a giant red flag, screaming, "The red flags are coming, the red flags are coming." Pay attention. Because you can end up in a bad situation, and nobody wants to be in a bad situation. And I love you guys. I don't want you in a bad situation. You make every day awesome. I love you. You guys are all so absolutely beautiful. And you have an awesome night. Goodbye. Mwah.